always good to have a quorum plus.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm not that big, but yeah.
to me,
Yeah, yeah.
James, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Put in the truck.
Okay, yeah, sure, absolutely, it's what, yeah.
And he came out, and then I actually got home when it started to drizzle, and got in the house. 20 minutes later, the world.
I'm sure you had an air compressor in the back, but
Okay, let's begin. Got your mics on? All right. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, adequate notice of the meeting has been provided. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carol, will you do the roll, please?
Yep. Jay.
President?
George
Barbara's
A.
excused.
George is, Barbara's excused?
Yes.
Okay. What about George?
No, absent.
Okay. Bob, he's absent.
Absent.
Carol?
Here.
Jim?
here.
George W.?
Here.
I'm here. Shane is absent.
And Shane is not here. Okay, we have the amended June 13 meeting minutes and the July meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion
So moved.
to approve those, the June meeting as amended and the July meeting as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jim. All those all those in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
Any exceptions? Was there anybody not here for those meetings? All right.
No.
Okay. All right, we have a couple of guests here today. I think the first one is the folks at 1112 Maryland Avenue. Is that you? You want to come up here, please?
Hello,
Hi. And state your name and your address then, please.
my name is Christy Skinner. My address is 1112 Maryland Ave.
Okay. And your first name is?
Christy,
Christy, with a C or a K?
Christie. I think there's 10 ways to spell it.
All right. And we refer your request to take down the 3 or 4 white pine trees in the backyard.
Yes.
Right, along the property line.
Yes.
And I think we didn't give any suggestions. I normally would maybe make a suggestion if you've got sap dropping and stuff like this, as you mentioned, that you trim the trees, but those trees have been already trimmed within a half inch of their life. And it's probably why they're not throwing much shade in the back, because
Yes.
in the middle branches have been trimmed off. So I would suggest leaving those alone. But the trees are, as far as I can tell, and looking at the trees from both your yard and the neighbor's yard to the south, to the beach, they seem like in reasonably good health.
And they are in good health. Unfortunately, they're in such good health, they're providing so much. I mean, this is just a very small fraction of all the pine cones and debris that is falling from the tree. Squirrels are up there, and while we're trying to have dinner, all this stuff is flying around. It's really impeding our enjoyment of this property that we just purchased.
This is a newly constructed home, correct?
This is, yes,
It's white with black trim?
yes.
Okay, so, I just wanted to make sure I'm
And the 3 trees on the rear of the
Are on-
property.
Yes.
the rear of the property.
I believe what was there before was a ranch house, and there was a lot of shrubbery, so I don't believe the previous owners were using the backyard the way we hope to use the backyard. But we are being pushed indoors at dinner time, where we were hoping, I mean, we've even had to redecorate outside so that our dinner table wasn't where we intended it to be because the trees are so messy. What we'd like to do is actually plant new trees. So we'd like to work with the Tree and Shade Commission of coming up with something that isn't so messy, that will be beautiful to look at.
The only trees that are not going to be messy is plastic palm trees. I wouldn't suggest those.
I don't think,
Because you're going to be trading pine cones and sap for
we have a lot of
leaves.
arborvitaes and cherry laurels, magnolia tree, a crepe myrtle. You know, yes, they'll shed their leaves, but they'll do it in a
How many
time.
trees are involved back there?
There's 3,
3 trees.
yes.
Do you know an approximate distance from the back of your home to this tree line?
They're back, I mean, they're almost to the fence.
To
Yeah,
the
they're
property
back-
line?
Yes.
Right.
They're very
So
back.
do you know roughly like what that distance is? Do you have 20
Roughly,
feet, 30 feet?
roughly, I would guess it's about 25 feet, 30 feet.
Okay.
Are you Christine?
I am.
I'm city manager, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
This is a hearing, right?
The
Yeah.
what?
It's a hearing?
Yes,
Oh, she's appealing your decision.
Yes.
yes.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, okay.
Well, the Shade Tree Commission is always reluctant to take down healthy, mature trees for sap falling and leaves falling and,
This is taken from probably this much space.
right.
The amount of, like, I don't know, there's tons of different kinds in here. And we've tried, you know, like, I can't even tell you, this stuff, I think, is what the squirrels are pulling apart and it starts to fly.
Right.
It's not just the needles, it's not just the sap.
Have you got
But
a-
it
have
is
you-
forcing us inside. We're not
You got a
able to
cover
use it.
for that pool, right?
For the winter, yes, but not for the summer.
That's not for the summer, so
Yeah.
you.
It's
how
not,
about
and it
you
isn't
built
even about the pool. It's really about being able to sit outside and enjoy without having stuff fall on us. It's about being able to cook and dine.
Right.
I mean, it's
And
forcing
How
us.
far is your outdoor dining area from the trees?
Well, originally, we wanted it on the side of the garage that basically would be shaded and would be underneath where the trees are. We have put it alongside the back of the house, but now that's not shaded, so it's not ideal. Like I said, we've kind of redecorated because the stuff that's falling is staining our furniture, and 2, we're trying to enjoy the property as much as we can. Unfortunately, just even reading a book, all of a sudden you've got this stuff flying on you. It's where I thought it might just be needles for a seasonal, like molt or what, I don't know what you call it when the
Is
tree
this your
sheds.
property?
Yes.
I was out and looked at
Yes.
the trees. and stuff.
So originally, we would have liked to have our table over
Sure.
here, but we have moved it. But even so, sitting there and just trying to read.
I understand.
It has, you can see it goes over the garage.
I see
These
that,
things
yeah.
are still falling over there.
Yeah, I've been out twice to make sure I,
Thank
know
you,
what
I
I'm seeing.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you putting eyes on
Have
it.
the trees been any kind of maintenance, pruning, shaping, or have you done anything with them?
We did, when we first moved in, we did prune it as much as we were told that they were, like, we had the
They've
tree
been
guy.
significantly pruned. I also went.
Yes.
Oh, you
Because
did?
there was a lot of there's a lot of dead branches, and we didn't want that to fall, you know, they're going to fall eventually, they're dead. So we were trying to make them work. I mean, we had ideas of making them pretty with lights. It's just that they're so messy. So again, we're not opposed to trees. I would love to plant other trees. It's just
Mike, can I
these
ask you,
trees.
that photo that you just showed to her, is that a photo that you had taken recently?
that I
Can I
took
see
today.
that? Can I see what the condition of the tree was? You were out there recently also, Jim? Yeah.
I appreciate all of your time.
there's 4 you can scan
Okay.
from left to right.
Wow. It was heavy pruning.
Significant, as I would call it.
Oops, wrong way. You know, looking at these photos, the one that's furthest, or guess that would be, I don't know if that's the rear or side of your property, the garage that's there, and the one that's sort of overhanging your roof. That
Okay.
seems to be the healthiest tree out of the ones that I'm looking at. Is there a reason why you'd also want that one removed?
That one
To
is,
say that we can remove the others without removing that one.
I believe that one is actually causing, because it's the healthiest, it's causing
That one's doing, looks like
most-
it's doing very well.
Yes, it's causing the most of the, so I would, I mean, of course, I appreciate being able to remove any of them and starting somewhere. I just believe it's going to be more of an expense to do it in 2 times rather than in 1. And I don't believe it truly will solve our problem completely because, again, that tree probably has,
No, but we also have to take into consideration that we're trying to preserve mature shade trees. And that
And
one's
I
a
d-
mature tree, it
yes.
is healthy, and the other 2 I can see, not looking all that well. Plus, I think those 2 would interfere more with where your area is that you're talking about. Granted, this is the healthiest one, but it is also the one that's furthest removed your problem.
I believe it still does overhang where our sitting area is.
Yeah.
Again, I'm appreciative, and I would like to work with the Tree and Shade Commission. I appreciate what you're doing. Cape May is beautiful because of these trees.
Right.
These just trees happen to be incredibly messy, and
So would you be willing to save one of the trees, the ones furthest?
I don't want to be unreasonable and say I'm not willing. I'm willing to start there, and then if it's still ultimately, it's pushing us indoors, and we want to be
Ultimately
outdoors.
what?
It's pushing us indoors because it's so messy. And we really have not been able to eat dinner out there. It's just,
Well, we're reluctant to take healthy trees down because of falling pine cones and sap. What is the board's feeling?
Yeah, I
I
agree.
agree.
I think a reasonable negotiation is what I had suggested, that one healthy tree should remain, but maybe the other 2 have them removed.
Is there any way to, I know this would be an expense, but is there any way to put a screened porch or
it's
something
not, it's
there?
also further.
So you
No,
wouldn't be
there-
encumbered by all of this?
No,
there
that's the one.
isn't, it says,
The trees, the house is here, the trees are against the back fence, and your area that you want to protect is in the middle. So
Yes.
there's no way to,
By the garage?
Do all the trees drop?
all of the trees do. And like
but
I'm
you're
saying,
just concerned with the 3 pine trees that are, 3
all 3 of those two, I thought that was the question. All 3 of the trees in question do drop.
Drop,
Yes.
right.
The one that I understand why we would want to save it is probably the most producing.
What's
But
the what?
is the most producing, because it is the fullest, so it is producing the most
pine cones and
pine,
needles.
everything.
Right.
Yeah, it isn't just the seasonal pine needle shedding, it's,
Well, yeah, pine trees and what, unlike deciduous trees, don't drop their needles and pine cones all at once. They do it on a continuous basis, so.
yes.
Has all the members been out to this property to look at it and see what you're going to judge on?
I have not.
You have not.
Miss,
Do you want to look
refresh
at those
me a little
photos
bit.
like I did?
Your,
Sure.
There's photos
Yes.
that
tree that's giving
Mike
you
had
the most
taken that you
problems
can look
is the
at
one closest
that are
to the-
pretty,
There's a garage back there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the trees go,
So furthest from the garage would be the left, the middle, and the right one being the healthiest.
it's by the garage.
Well,
Is by the,
garage,
gar-
kind
is by the garage.
oh, and that's the area where you sit?
Want to spark today.
It still overhangs the area.
Yeah, well, of
yes.
course, I mean, trees like
Right.
any trees, yeah.
Right.
And
Healthiest one.
as you're saying, dropping pine cones and needles and all, all
So this is
trees
the one we're
Right.
drop
trying to save
something.
right here?
And
And
then you have the patio by the house, and then there's a swimming pool, and then the trees are on the far property line in the back.
Yes, I do have pictures.
No, I've been out
Okay,
there.
okay, yes.
The trees are already,
Jim and I
Yeah.
were having a little
Already there.
so they knew that.
reference disagreement on something.
I'll entertain a motion to take 2 of the 3 trees down and keep the healthiest one. And with the stipulation, you are going to plant additional trees to screen your backyard from the neighbors to the south toward the beach, right?
Fantastic, yes.
But it would be $75 a tree because they're healthy trees.
I understand.
So the motion on the floor is to take 2 of the 3 trees down, leave the healthiest pine tree. I know that's not a complete solution, but that would probably help quite a bit. Take 2 of the 3 trees down, and then with the provision you plant, reasonably sized deciduous trees in there that's not going to drop needles and pine cones on a continuous basis. Would that be acceptable?
I'm willing to give it a shot, definitely.
Okay.
So the tree that's hanging over the garage, or I guess the right back, she'll be able to trim that, right? So it's
One-
not dropping all that stuff?
The one to the, you're facing,
Yeah.
is that the one?
Some of
We're
it.
talking about the one, you're facing the house furthest to the right.
Correct.
Correct.
So if she prunes that back, she's okay to do that, to stop the dropping of all
We can do
the...
that, because the other 2 trees, like I said, have been pruned within a half-inch.
Yeah, so the other 2 will go down, and she'll replace them with something
We
else.
can try pruning.
But the one that's left, you can prune back to not dropping all the stuff.
Okay, that sounds.
Does that make
good.
sense?
That would save
It's
some.
always advisable to prune branches also that are making contact with your shingle, with your roof.
Yes.
Because it will wear out the shingle over time.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
those-
I
those
thought the people
branches
that
should
did prune it,
definitely-
I thought they did prune that as much as it could, so that's
Right.
great news if we can prune it some more, because that'll
Okay.
just help. So thank you.
We'll prune it to the degree that it doesn't injure the
That you
tree.
don't kill the
Perfect,
tree.
yes, right. I get that.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, take 2 of the trees furthest to the left.
Yeah,
Left.
I just wanted to say one thing. A lot of times when people say they're going to replant trees, they don't do it.
I mean, we love trees, so yes, and
Well,
it is
everybody-
a white screen, it needs something, it needs
This-
some green.
This,
It's gonna-
yeah, to screen the back from
Yes.
your neighbors to the south, sort of.
And if you have a list of trees that
We do.
you would like us to use, by all means, we will stay within those trees.
No, you
We
can
have the
plant, we
list.
have a list of trees, but you can plant anything you want back in there, as long as it's not bamboo.
Yeah, no invasives, yeah.
What does bamboo do, may I ask?
No bamboo, no
Invasive.
bamboo.
Very
Oh,
invasive.
is it? I
Hard
have
to
a
get
neighbor at
rid of.
home that I feel like it looks like a weed after a while, it just keeps,
You end up with a yard of bamboo.
we don't want that, so we're on the same page.
So for the 2 healthy trees that are coming down, we need a check to the city for $150. 75 a tree, make it out to the city of Cape May.
Perfect.
Okay? And you can give it to, in the shade tree office to Nancy.
Okay,
Because
good.
you already have the application in.
Okay,
And I'll just make mention that we gave approval for 2 of the 3 trees at 75 a tree with the provision that you're going to plant deciduous trees in there. It won't be so messy.
okay.
Right.
Do you
Get a
have a
good
number of
filter on your
trees
pool.
that will,
We have a list on our
well,
website,
not,
it should be.
not the type of tree, a number of trees, like if we're taking 2 down, putting 2 or 3 up, or,
No,
As many
well,
as
you can
want.
put anything in there you want.
okay,
And we don't dictate the type of tree you put in.
Okay.
Again, not bamboo,
yes. Okay,
all right?
yeah, is that
Okay,
everything?
Good, all right.
Well, thank you very much.
We have to do the vote. still?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we vote?
No, we didn't.
No, we
I'll
did
go
not.
second.
I'll call the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 I don't think you can make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I put the motion on the table. I'll call for the vote.
Motion on the table.
That means yes? Okay, all right.
Nobody made a motion.
Do you want to make the motion? Go ahead. No?
If you say no, go say so no. It doesn't have to be.
Well, no, I'm not going to make a motion on it.
No. I made the motion.
Okay. No, I'm a negative.
Are you going to vote yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay, okay.
Yay.
Yeah, yay.
Yes, all right. All right, there you go.
It's 3.
So I can still write the check?
You can
now?
give it to her now if you wish.
All right, thank you very much for all of your time. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Okay, we have some other, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Oh, Mike, before you go, can we talk about 1240 Ohio Avenue? That tree is not in poor health. It's not declining or anything else. The only problem is it's affecting a deteriorated sewer system. And there's a ways, there's probably, if there's any water problems they have inside the house, I know that house has a quick release or quick shut off in the house for allow them to do work on dishwashers and toilets without turning it off at the meter. So what's the real situation there at 1240?
Matter of fact, one of your members went out and looked at the tree and agreed that it's dying. We took bucket
And he saw,
We decided the tree's gonna come down, it's creating too many problems.
he saw the water pooling in the center of a maple tree. Well, that happens for all those maple trees that have, they have, that happens, I can take you to any one of the maple trees near that or any place else in town, and you can see that water pooling in that one section where all the branches come out. But that doesn't mean the tree is rotten or the tree is dying. So I disagree with that. I think that tree can be, and there should be a way to notch a hole in that trunk to get down to the meter without destroying the root. You know, either a rectangular saw cut or whatnot, but you're able to read the meter, obviously, because it's been that way for years and years and years. So the meter's not affected. Pardon?
Excuse me, what tree is this we're talking about?
1240 Ohio Avenue.
One of the board members went out, which one was it?
Not me.
No, that would have been
Me.
you? Yeah, you looked at
Yes,
that.
I looked at it, and Ron Manier looked at it.
Yes, and
And
Ron-
we're going to trim it.
Ron was going to trim it.
Well, according to Public Works, one of the board members was out there and agreed that the tree needs to go.
That was probably Robert Kraft, but,
Where's he at?
yeah, most likely. He's
Robert
our
Deep-
Public Works
Public Works.
board member. But still, that's not, that he doesn't, you know, he can't make that decision on his own.
You know the way he's talking about?
Not that, but he can't make that decision on his own.
Well, did everybody go out and look at it?
You want to go take a look at it?
Go look at it.
12,
We'll get the
No,
bucket truck.
I have not taken,
1240, Ron Manier looked at it.
1240.
Ron Manier looked at it.
Looked at it.
Ohio?
He already
Ron
looked
looked at it too.
He should be there last week.
at it. I don't know what the question is.
So what is the question?
Look at that tree, look at the branches up top. It's a big maple tree,
tree,
street tree, okay? Thanks, Michael.
It's a city tree, Jay?
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
city
city
tree,
tree.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the tree has to come down, frankly.
And so they're questioning the denial to remove the
Yes,
tree?
yes, I don't think the tree has to come down.
No.
The tree has a red band on it that the city put on there, but that tree doesn't have to come down. That tree's in good health. The only thing is, they can't shut off the water to the house from the street because they can't get to the meter. But the house is not in any danger because I'm sure that in the house itself, they got a quick cutoff valve and they're able to do work inside the house. So, but take a look at the tree, let's talk about it at the next meeting.
And
But I
so
want to
who-
avoid taking that tree down.
Who put the red band around the tree?
City did. Mike, city wants to take the tree down based on Robert Kraft's opinion, because it had water pooling in the center section of the tree. I mean, those trees all over town have that in it after the
Exactly.
rains. So that's not a reason to take it down. It's got some dieback up top, but that would be subject to the pruning that
And
Ron can do.
that's what Ron was going
Yeah.
to take care of, right.
I have another question.
Jay,
Why was Mike Voll with the last person here? I don't understand.
Why was what?
Why was he with the last person who was here? With her? Is there something?
She asked her to be here. We're appealing our decision, our denial to take the trees down in the backyard.
The city manager, okay.
Yes.
He's got the final say.
I didn't understand.
Pardon?
Oh, so getting back to this 1240 Ohio, so you're saying the curb box, the valve, they can't get to the valve for some reason?
They can't get to the valve or the meter because the root has overtaken the valve and the meter. I mean, when you planted a tree, like a tree with big spreading roots,
Yeah.
like a maple tree,
Yeah.
in the street lawn that's that big.
Right.
And the tree is now 25 or 30 inches in diameter. The roots are going to be up and down that street lawn like crazy, and it's engulfed the meter and engulfed the shutoff valve. But they've had work done inside the house, I know, and they have a way to shut water off in the house without having to go to the meter to shut it off.
Well, you'll have your main that feeds the house, but from the street to that main
can't
shut-off
get-
valve at your house,
They can't get to it. That's correct.
okay.
Now, I think there should be a way to cut a hole in there in the tree root without destroying the integrity of the root or the stability of the
So that's-
tree
that's what
to
we're gonna
get
go
down
with.
to the meter, and this is what we
That's,
should pursue.
that's what we're gonna look at.
how old of a
Okay.
tree are we talking about there, Jay?
Pardon?
How old of a tree? You think?
When did Village Green go in?
Okay.
60s.
When Village Green went in, Brodesser and Robinson got a lot of trees they bought.
This goes back to the,
60s.
wow.
Yeah, that tree is that old, it's a big tree. They bought a truckload of maple trees. This is why there's so many maple trees in that area, in yards and on the street. They put them all in that area.
And just last question, Robert
What?
looked at this and his
As
recommendation?
far as I know, he was the one that looked at it. They got a bucket truck out. They looked down to where the branches come out of the center section of the tree, and there was water in it.
And his recommendation is
Take it
full,
down.
take the tree down? Okay. All right,
And my recommendation is, don't screw with the tree.
okay.
It's
I got
a
it.
healthy tree.
I
And
just
it can
wanted to
be
get the full
trimmed back.
story, so, okay.
It can be trimmed back to take care of any overweight on the center section, and a tree can be saved.
Be ashamed to take a tree down.
Pardon?
Be ashamed to take one of those original trees.
Yeah, well, we always hopefully come down on the side of the tree, all right? Also, so take a look at it, be prepared to talk at the next meeting.
I'll go back and look
Yeah.
at it again.
All right. All right, we have some other folks here. Come on up.
There we go.
And who are you? Okay,
Yes.
No, right here.
I've seen you before.
He was here because she wanted,
Right, she wanted,
Yeah, this is a large city tree. It's factually on the property line between you and the people to the west, correct?
The property line, the tree is damaged the driveway, damaged the lawn, the sidewalk is very buckled, I've got pictures. of
Yeah.
I'd like to see this.
thank you.
And I'm aware of the 50% share of cost program,
And the what? 50/50 program, yeah.
I'm aware of that, but that's obviously, and my understanding it's only the sidewalk and not the driveway, and also the lawn, there's big roots in the lawn, and it's getting very close.
Oh, mic on, please, gentlemen.
Second.
Thanks.
Let's start over?
Yeah, okay. Now
no.
you're being broadcast.
Okay.
I looked at that today when I saw you were coming in. And of course, your driveway doesn't seem to be affected at all at the present time.
Actually,
But I can see where it's buckling up a little bit right at the tree itself. Has that been repaired before?
The tree has been trimmed a little bit, but the driveway,
The root has been trimmed a little bit.
no, the branches have been trimmed.
That doesn't do anything with the root. You qualify for the 50/50 program, either you or the guy next door or whoever wants to get involved in it. And we need 2 quotes from reputable concrete people. I've seen it.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, I would have,
excuse me, the address is,
915 Benton.
15 Benton.
thank you.
here it is.
Yeah, yeah, and the tree is, the sidewalk has been arced into the lawn.
Right, both ours and next door as well,
as well as a driveway.
Yeah, I see it's
and
coming
the
up.
lawn itself. I mean, it's within a foot or so of the walkway right in front of the house.
The what?
It's getting very close to the house itself. At the bottom of
Root
the
system.
stairs.
Yeah, you can't arc it that much closer to the house, can you?
And you're here as the contractor because you would do
Yes, yeah, I would do the repairs as well, but there's a few issues. Where it lifted the driveway now, unless you have a pickup truck, you can't get into his garage. If you notice, it's about 18 inches higher than,
Well, that tree was there when you built that house.
Correct.
and the driveway was poured new, and it had lifted since then.
Pardon?
And the driveway was poured then, and it has lifted since then.
Okay. It seems to be reasonably intact now, though.
So if you look at that one picture, there's a crack that goes straight across the
Crack,
driveway.
okay.
So right now, the water pools in that area, and unless you have a large SUV or pickup truck to get over that and into the garage, you can't get a car in there.
Right, every time I pull my car in, I'm hitting the
You
bottom.
bottom out.
Yes.
So the sidewalk on the rest of the street is about 3 inches higher than the curb, but in that particular area, it goes to about 12 inches, and where the tree is about 18 inches. When I pulled up today, there was a woman walking her baby carriage down the sidewalk. She had to turn around and back over that hump. So it's a hazard,
And the water meter pit is right there.
which had lifted with,
And the
The
what?
water meter pit is right.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
cracked
and that
right
has lifted as well with the driveway. So you'll see the dark,
That's the water meter cutoff, right?
that's the water meter pit, yeah. The curb stop is in the apron.
And the what?
The curb stop is in the apron, and the water meter pit is in the driveway.
And I know in April, there was 1227 Maryland Avenue that had a tree removed that looks not nearly as big as our tree. I have a picture of both before and after, so that was approved for removal. It wasn't near the driveway, the sidewalk was not nearly as buckled. I can show you this. So I'm not sure why, sorry,
Yeah, I get it. No, no.
that would have been approved and this is not.
That was the tree from,
Right, I believe he works
So
for
you
the
can see
township.
on the driveway where it's cracked.
Maryland
Oh,
Avenue.
Keenan.
That's the tree from,
So actually, that's a neighbor
Yeah,
that lifted
yeah.
from the road.
From the what, Carol?
I knew
Right
this
here.
would come back to haunt us.
There's a crack that goes right
Yeah,
across there,
that's-
and the entire thing buckled. Their root goes right through here, right onto the front lawn. So to get up and over that, if you notice, it's about 18 inches from the top of the curb to the top of the sidewalk right here. The rest of the street.
This is the one we. you
Yes,
got.
Yeah, that was the one that had the water.
And also this,
Yeah.
This
That,
neighbor
that had
also attended, just like
deteriorating-
you are, to dispute, because
Septic
at first he was in
Oh, and
Okay.
it's by the
one of the main
Right.
considerations
Goes
was
right along
that
this joint.
he was
Concrete
having
like that. So if you try and get over
very
that in a car,
serious issues with blockage
Not only that
of,
is, when it rains, the
his,
water can't escape now. So
sewer
the water
pipe.
pools there and goes into the ground.
and, with that being considered, that's one of the reasons why we did agree to having the tree removed. So in this case, you're not having any situations with.
as of now, we don't, but if you could, as you see in the pictures, we're getting
Right,
very close.
but I'm saying to differentiate from your problem and
Understood.
what this person, their problem was, we really can't compare the two directly because he had a
I
different.
hear you. And this is our neighbor Ted, who's on the other side, and it's actually reaching to his driveway as well. So going all the way across.
It's a
our-
duplex.
It's not a duplex.
No.
Single family. He's,
On 917, and the route now is all the way over to my driveway.
so if you're facing the house to the left, that's the one that there's pictures of.
Actually, 23 yards.
As you're facing the house,
To the right. That's,
well, what's his face lives there?
Jack is on the left.
The one on the left.
Jack.
What?
Jack.
Jack, yeah.
Right. He's on the left and Ted is on the right.
Okay, where are you?
I'm the middle,
In the
915.
middle. Oh, I
on the
got
house.
you. Okay.
got the
I
tree.
understand. Yeah, it's your two houses adjoining.
It's not adjoining. I mean, it's a tree between our houses. It's a single-family home.
Right,
Jack, when you face the house, Jack is to the left and Ted is to the right.
right,
So
okay.
it's between our
Well,
house
how
and
are
Jack's.
you involved in this?
Well, because now the one route is like almost to my driveway. I mean, it's above ground, almost to my driveway.
Right, so it's going across our entire lawn to his.
You just see the root coming through the lawn there. But it's heading towards Jack's house. But the two issues here is the root came across, as you see here, there's a big crack in the driveway, lifting where the sidewalk and driveway meet. So now if you try and get a car into there, unless, again, you have a larger SUV or a pickup truck, you're not getting a regular car in there. So that's the solution, is to keep removing the concrete and chipping away at the roots. Eventually, you're going to just kill that tree anyway.
And also the fire hydrant is right in front. I'm not sure how close
So-
the tree is to
Right,
that. I'm
right,
assuming
right,
it's
right, right.
getting very close.
But that also gives him less parking. If he can't get a car in his driveway, he can't park in front of his house either.
Well, if,
Excuse me, I live very close to Washington Street, and this problem you're talking about exists citywide.
But not on driveways. I've seen
Oh,
it
yeah.
on sidewalks, not
Well,
on driveways.
there are a couple driveways on Washington Street where people actually have to be very careful backing out of their driveway, but that's Cape May.
I hear you.
I mean, we have trees like this all over the town that buckle the sidewalks, that block driveways. I mean, if we're going to start, we could cut all those trees down.
I hear you, but it is, the driveway is in much worse shape than when we.
well, the city
I
would be
understand.
willing to go 50/50 again, breaking up that concrete. And once you get that broken up, we can see how much of that root we could shave off in order for you to, I don't know if you want to break up the apron, that concrete apron, because you got two driveways there, right?
One
one
wide
driveway.
driveway. It's
One
one
wide
driveway
driveway.
this wide.
What?
It's one wide driveway.
It's a double.
Double width driveway.
One of those drive,
No, it's,
in the drive,
So it's just you that's affected.
It's
but
a
you
single-family
You
house.
can't do the apron of your driveway without affecting his driveway too,
No,
right?
No.
it's a single-family house. Here,
Let me see this again.
this is our house, it's double width.
Right.
Here's the tree. Jack is over here, Ted is on this side.
I got you.
His driveway is over here. This is my double width.
All right, okay.
And again, the tree is leaning towards
Yeah.
the house. In a storm like last night, And the tree's actually partially rotted as well. So in a storm like last night, our bedroom's on the third floor facing the house, and we worried constantly about the trees falling towards the house. I mean,
Well, that tree, the house will be gone before that tree falls over, but I understand your concern.
I hear you. I mean, hopefully you're correct.
Right.
But it is definitely leaning. So, you know,
Well, let's take a closer look at
Well,
this.
can I ask, so when we talk about the 50/50 sidewalk program, so obviously the two flags that are directly in line that are, you know, basically
Yes.
heaved over right next to the tree itself, that qualifies. Now we, you know, to taper that back in, if he decided to remove the apron and the two flags leading into the driveway,
Yeah, we can't.
does that, would that be included in the 50/50 or
I'm
no?
not sure. I'm not sure they can do anything with that.
And you're
I'm not sure
removing
they
half
can
of
do
the
anything with
driveway
that
as
apron going into the
Did-
driveway, because that's not really affected by the, really not, the tree isn't really causing that, I don't think.
the tree's not causing what?
Pardon?
The tree's not causing what?
The tree isn't really causing the apron problem, is it?
Absolutely,
The
here.
tree's causing the whole issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's buckled up significantly.
Well, but see, if you had to report that apron, how would you do it and be able to get,
I'd have to report the sidewalk, the apron, and half the driveway.
Right, you'd have to go back into the driveway to get slope, right.
See
that's
that
what you'd have
crack
to
that
go.
goes across?
Yeah.
The pinch point is like right here. So where it's heaved is right, this goes up and this goes up.
okay.
There's two issues here. One is when it rains, the water has no way of escaping. It goes back into this garage.
Okay, right there.
So all that is where the water pools. This
Yeah.
is elevated higher.
That's what?
The water
Elevated
pools.
higher.
This is elevated higher. So
Okay.
the water pools in this area now. So in a heavy rain, it goes right into.
These
the
two
garage.
are shut-offs, right?
There's two shut-offs, you have two curb stops and the meter pit.
And the meter?
Yep, the meter has also lifted about 3.5 inches. And then. the
I
next-
say, I don't see how all right, I just don't see how the tree is affecting that.
That root goes right here,
Right, okay.
right underneath there, and it just
Yeah,
pops
the
out.
whole crack is.
But didn't the root already do the damage? So if you cut the
But the root's
tree,
gonna keep, the root's gonna keep moving.
Right, I mean, it's gotten worse, every year it's gotten worse. I mean, the driveway is raised, it's more and more in the lawn, it's, our
And this
landscapers'
is just
machinery is
in the last
getting
few
ruined.
years That lifted that much. That's right on the other side of the tree.
Let's see that one.
but if you take the tree down, look at the root.
And we're more than
If
happy
you
to
take the tree
plant,
down and remove the sidewalk, then you cut the roots out and pour it back in its original elevation.
and we're more than happy to plant as many trees as appropriate. I mean, we're not looking, like the previous woman, it's not that we're anti-tree, we just are having issues with this one tree, but we're more than happy to plant one or two or whatever is appropriate.
And when they poured the driveway, you could see they poured around the tree to try and conserve the tree originally.
Right.
Bent
And you
is-
got a little bit more room to arc that some more, but, yeah, but, because we can't bevel that anymore into the driveway. So you're really saying you'd have to take that whole apron up, right?
That's the whole apron, sidewalk, and half of the driveway,
Right. That makes sense.
right?
Yep.
I mean, like you said, right now, the way the grade is of the property, the water's supposed to shed out to the street. Right now, it does not shed out to the street. It goes right back into the garage.
It goes back into the garage.
Yeah, it pools in that area.
But that wasn't a condition of the tree, I mean, that was.
Yes, no, condition, the root lifted the end of the driveway, trapping the water at the house side.
I mean, again, there's,
So without that, you're saying there was positive pitch going
There
on?
was positive pitch going down, 100%.
What type of time period did this all happen?
It's been a few years.
we've had the house for 14 years, and it's gotten worse every year. I mean, it's, when we first, the first several years, there was no crack, but, I mean, I can see if I have old pictures, but it's certainly gotten worse. In at least the last 5 years, it's gotten much worse.
Yeah, 'cause I remember when that house was being built, we cautioned the contractors to protect the tree, which they think they did.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
It's thriving. But the root system is just tearing everything up on the front of his house.
Well, I don't know how much on a 50/50 program we could extend this. I don't even know if we replaced all the apron on the thing due to the tree root, whether that would affect anything.
I would have to remove that root.
Pardon?
I would remove that root.
Yes.
And I don't know what kind of damage to that tree.
Yeah, I don't think that at the driveway, that root, I don't think that would affect the stability of the tree. I don't think.
I can't confirm or deny that.
And until it's opened up, you don't know how many other routes might also be passing underneath there. This one you're seeing, because it's up, it's very shallow.
It
and
lifted it, and you can actually see, it follow the crack, it goes right, it follows the crack, it goes right there.
Right, so once you get involved with removing the
It's gonna be a
concrete,
can of worms.
And again, it's extended to his house. The fire hydrant is right there as well. So.
where's the
and I'm
fire hydrant?
The fire hydrant's directly in front of the house.
Oh, I see it, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Here's the route I'm talking about, so you can see it. It comes right across that crack and goes right this way.
The root of the tree.
That's the street lawn on the other side of your apron, of the driveway apron.
Where do you stand?
So that's
I'm gonna save that tree,
That's what's causing the
Wonder
crack,
if they
and
could
causing
build
the
a
other side to
driveway.
lift.
and it sounds like it can be saved, but
So one of the other questions, other than tree removal, is how far extended can the 50/50 sidewalk program?
I'm not sure it would cover the apron. It would cover the sidewalk, 50/50 repair the sidewalk.
Well, the sidewalk where? I mean, you also
The
have.
sidewalk by the tree where it's already arced around the thing, we could
but
shave a little bit of that.
The sidewalk section that's
Yeah,
in
but
line
I-
with the driveway, no?
I don't think they could, I don't know if it would cover the reshaping of the driveway. We could ask
I think we
for
should,
it.
I think we
We
should
could ask for
ask.
it.
Yeah, I think
when
we
it
should
was that way.
Also, the house to the left of that, where it heaved up 3.5, 4
Right.
inches. is
Jack has a
elevated.
good 3 or 4 Jack next door,
About 25
several
feet.
pieces of his sidewalk are buckled up. I have pictures of those in here as well.
I can see the tripping hazard.
So Jack Reel, right?
Yeah.
So he did what?
No, he has several pieces of his sidewalk that are uplifted as well from the same.
I
Okay.
believe you have the picture of it.
Yeah, but he hasn't requested any relief on this, so.
How good your eyesight is with this, but this is the street
This is the
view.
drive.
No, so this is his neighbor's house that you're
Yes,
talking
that's
about,
Jack's,
Jack?
yeah.
So here's the tree here,
Yeah.
and if you notice, see these slabs here?
Right
See
there.
the tripping hazard right there? Yeah, so they all,
Right.
these are lifted. And this is 9 months ago, so it's not that old. This is
And if somebody trips, which has happened, I mean, I'm not, whose liability is that on the sidewalk?
Well, would you-
Car damage,
Would you get 2 quotes on
as many as you want.
the driveway, your apron, with the idea that you'd remove that root that's underneath the thing, okay? And is the, up and over the tree that's there, is that cracked or is that raised?
Yes.
So where that has to be reset?
Yes.
I think I saw it. Yeah, that's cocked a little bit, right? Okay, all right. It's cocked.
regardless
So
of. the
those-
outcome
those
of
two
the
things would
removal of
have-
the tree,
those-
Are you still planning on taking out the concrete and all? You're still gonna do that
So,
regardless?
so if I remove the concrete and then I start ripping roots apart and kill the tree, what happens then?
Okay, let's say.
That's my
let's
biggest
say-
concern, because I went through the same scenario in Haddonfield, and
Well,
it
we're-
was not
we're-
easy.
I want to come down on the side of the tree. That's our job here. Get 2 quotes for your apron of the driveway and to reset those blocks or redo those 2 blocks that are arced in. Once those blocks come out, we can shave a little bit off of that root in order to make that arc-in area level. And then you can take that root out that's underneath the apron of your driveway.
But what about the roots that's going towards the front lawn, that's going towards his house?
That's what he's saying, we can remove those ones.
You gotta remove that one that's underneath your apron, right?
Yeah, we'd have to.
Yeah.
I'm not a tree guy, but I'd be very worried about the safety of the tree if that big.
No,
root-
I think that 3 will be all right with that.
I think that's
And
a
if the-
reasonable solution.
And if the tree knocks on our house, who's paying?
Well, we'll find that, I mean, I'm gonna say we'll find that out when the tree falls. No, I don't mean to say that, no, that's not what I want to say. But no, I think that tree will be all right with that one root off. So,
I hear you. I mean, I think we are running a big risk that this tree is leaning towards the house. And again, a storm like yesterday,
The lean on that house.
The tree leaning.
is from Jack's house. There's some more pictures over here.
It's leaning here.
Oh, there's one that shows.
Oh, where is it, the one that's leaning?
that it's- yeah.
Most every tree in Cape May.
So we got a couple trees? Or, there's, no, okay.
There was one that looks,
The side angle.
We got a lot of trees that lean.
So, try to understand the position
Totally
we're in,
understand.
that, so we're trying to preserve this tree.
100%.
We can't make a very good decision on the root issue either
We
until
wanted-
it's exposed. So that's why I was asking regardless of the outcome of removal of the tree, which looks like as of now, probably not, were you still gonna move forward with redoing the concrete?
Oh, we wanted to see,
Because then if the concrete's removed, then we can go out there and maybe we can assess it a little better to see what the root system is and.
And you're gonna have to redo that concrete anyhow to prevent, whether the tree is there or not, to prevent water from coming back into the thing. So once, let's look at, let's get two quotes for doing your apron and the arc area, and then we'll, once we get that concrete up, we'll see we'll relay the arc area in there, for that tree, and you can take that root out, and that would solve some of the problems.
some of the problem, but then,
Okay.
as we're cutting it, and then we see it's a bigger problem, then what do we do? I mean,
Well, if the tree then becomes unstable, the city's responsibility
But-
is to remove the tree.
but once we remove the root, I mean,
No,
how does it
no,
get?
I think
It's gonna be a large root system, and what you're seeing is minimal compared to what that tree is providing in roots.
Hear you. And again, you've got the fire hydrant there, and again, it's leaning on the house, it's leaning on our house. And again, a storm like last night, we worry
Well,
about. It's
that tree has got a lot more leaves, a lot more branches out toward the street than it does toward the house, because we've been cutting that tree back for years.
Well, Mr. Chairman, we also can have someone take a look at it and see if.
The what?
We can have someone take a look at the portions of the tree that are leaning towards the house and make a decision whether there's any pruning needed.
Yeah, we've been taking branches out leaning toward yours and Jack houses for a couple of years.
I'm aware.
So we'll continue that, and that tree is really heavily branched and leafed toward the street, so that's gonna alleviate some of those problems.
Again, this is not a quality of life, like, trying to eat outside. This is a safety issue for people that are coming towards our house. Our vehicles are damaged, so, again, this is not just it's not cosmetic. This is
Well, go down Ohio Avenue, go down Idaho Avenue, go down
I hear you.
Maryland Avenue, go down New York Avenue.
I hear you, but you're also approving
You got a whole arc of trees leaning, over the street that's unbroken. So that's,
I hear you, but I also
what
see
makes
that
that makes what some of those streets a lot cooler and a lot more present is that arc of trees on the thing, so.
I hear you.
All right, go ahead and submit, as I say, submit two quotes from concrete people, and we'll go from there.
Understood?
And have someone take a look at the canopy over what's leaning towards your house or what could be pruned.
I'm sorry, you will have somebody come over? I'm having somebody come over. I'm not following.
That one photo shows there is one very large limb going towards your house, or towards the structure.
So I'm sorry, your point is
That one looks, from the photo, looks like it could probably be removed, but,
So you're
it'd be
saying
good
you're
to
gonna
have
have
We could have
Someone
someone
out
from
on-
DPW go over there, couldn't we, Jay?
What?
Someone from Public Works go over and take a look at the
No,
limb
Ron
that's heading
Manier would
towards.
Ron
No,
Manier.
Public Works won't
No,
do it.
Ron Manier would do that.
You wanted to make a request for Ron Manier to take a look at it. Go ahead and do that for that area, because you're doing Barbara's area until she gets back on her feet. All right, we'll see if we can't do that.
That's 9:15,
Thank you for your time.
correct?
Yeah, 9:15.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have anything. Does anybody else? Are you, sir, for? You what? All right, come on up.
Sure.
And who are you?
My name's Ray Puglia. I'm on 1031 Idaho Avenue,
1031 what?
Idaho.
1031 Idaho?
Yeah, this is my name.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
First name Ray, last name P as in Paul, U-G-L-I-A. And the reason I'm here is my neighbor, his name is Albert, his last name is C-O-R-D-E-S. He's like 86 and has health issues. And that's his tree out there on 1036 Idaho.
That's a street tree, right?
Sir?
Oh, sorry.
Ray,
Thank
what
you.
was Albert's last name?
It is C-O-R-D-E-S. And he's at, like I said, 1036 Idaho.
And this is
You said
1036, and
I'm
you're at
1031.
1031.
Yeah, so I took that picture across the street, and I took the other pictures just to show the size. I mean, he would like it to come down, based on what I heard here, that's probably not going to happen. But his other question was, could he trim it a little bit to clean it up?
Why does he want it to come down?
Well, he's had to replace his sidewalk twice so far, and he's had to replace his, whatever that plumbing.
I didn't see the picture. Is that a city? Is that a
It is.
street tree? Is it?
And the plumbing, he's had to
I've seen that.
have work on the plumbing twice. What is that, the septic sewer that comes out that way or whatever?
What else?
He's had to replace he replaced his sewer system?
Not the sewer system, but
Water.
the pipe that comes out, that would be coming out by where that tree is. So I'm just saying,
There's his water,
Nothing wrong.
I guess,
right.
yeah.
Well, you got two things coming out. One is the water coming in, and the other one's the sewer going out.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's the one going out. I mean,
What?
I'm guessing it's the one going
Yeah,
out.
yeah. That area has probably got, I used to think it was all knob and tube
No, maybe he-
ceramic or tile,
Yeah, I think-
knob and tube, the old tile. But I'm told now is a lot of times it's a black coated steel pipe or iron pipe that sometimes gets corroded at the seams where they come in. And this is where the tree is taking advantage. Tree roots are taking advantage of that nutrient-rich water coming out of that sewer pipe.
Correct.
And that usually indicates that, you've got a problem with your sewer system. It's going to have to be replaced with plastic or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the root system on that, just on the sidewalk,
That's what
three blocks high.
That looks like a maple tree.
So it's really
It's like
huge.
another maple tree. And in that area on Idaho Avenue, that was built on meadow muck. That was built on
Harbor.
the stuff that was dredged from the harbor, okay? And it's a high water table where you are.
Oh, yeah, I can
This is why the sidewalks are red with that iron that comes up. And the tree root will only go down as far as it hits water, and then it'll spread out.
Oh, so it hits immediately,
and
because
this-
we're only that far from the grate as far as where the water comes up.
And this is what happens. The trees get older and more mature, they're spreading further and further out. But they usually don't spread any further than the drip edges of the tree. The branches like this, at the edges of the branches, the tree roots usually don't go much further than that, because that's where the water drips off the branches. That's where the tree roots, pick up the water for the tree.
Yeah,
So
but I would imagine they're
the
pretty.
bigger and more spread the tree is, the more spread the roots go.
Right, and that's what he
Yeah.
has there. But I'm saying, based on what I heard, I would say you're probably not going to say you can take it down. So is he allowed to have it trimmed like 10 feet, make it look a little prettier and stuff like that?
Okay, we can make a request. Whose district is that? That's probably Ohio.
That was Mark's.
That would be mine.
That was Mark's district.
Yeah, that would be me.
I think you.
So it's, the tree is at 1036 Idaho, right?
Yes, sir. And would he do it, or would you all do it? How does it work?
No, the
Yeah,
city
yeah.
does it. The city is responsible for those trees, so that would come out of shade tree. That would come out of the shade tree budget for trimming.
Because he
So I'll
was
have-
willing to pay for it, and he was
The
also,
city- No,
he was
that's
also
the-
willing to put other trees up. if
No,
he needed to.
no. If we did that, we wouldn't have any trees left. No, the
No,
city.
no, I'm saying he would give you money to go put trees
Right.
up someplace.
No, the city, we try to protect the old growth. I mean, by the time you get a little 2.5-inch nursery stock twig in there, by the time that throws any decent shade, you and I will be dead and gone
I agree.
for years and years and years. So we're trying to maintain the stock of the mature trees that we can. So I'll issue a work order from Muneer to do some selective trimming to reduce the canopy of the tree at 1036 Idaho.
He will be really happy.
Okay.
I have a question for myself. I have a little tree out front that's been trying to grow for the last 5 or 6 years that I know of, because my mom and dad had it, and they've passed away. And it has, some green leaves that finally came in this year, and then I see little sprouts going up. Do I leave those little sprouts, or should I trim it so that it, gets full?
Is the dead branches up there, are they supple at all, or are they dry and crackly?
The ones that are shooting up, there's only a couple. They look like they're fairly new. The ones that
gonna
have
be the new
been dead
growth.
and crackly, looks like somebody had trimmed them out earlier.
Well, yeah, if they're dry and crackly, they're dead. those branches.
And
But the ones that got a little supple left in them, they're still got water going up and going down,
They
and that
should be
may
good.
be, that'll be the basis for additional growth of the tree. The branches that are crackly like that, you can break off.
You're allowed to do that.
Yeah. Is that a street tree?
You're not allowed to do that?
Is that a street tree? It's a street tree.
It's right, yeah, it's right out front,
It's between the sidewalk and the curb.
yes.
That's a street
The
tree.
city's
You
responsibility.
can't touch it.
Can't touch it.
Mayor have to do it.
Pardon?
That's the city's responsibility.
That's a city tree. That's what we would do.
Well, I was just wondering how to make it
So
help.
that's-
Because it's just, no.
That's that's the street tree at 1031 Idaho.
Yeah,
right?
and then the bark looks like it's, got mold spots all over. Is that
Well,
being sick, or what does that?
It's probably on the north side of the tree,
No, it's on all the sides of the tree.
all the sides of the tree. I'll have 1031 Idaho, I'll have Manir assess the health of that tree.
Okay, I appreciate that. I mean, we try to save it, but we don't know what we're doing.
What species of tree is that, do you know?
Oh, no.
Don't know.
My mom was the gardener. Me,
Okay.
I have a black thumb, not a green thumb.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me, I appreciate it, guys.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks for sitting through.
Oh, I liked it, nice to learn.
Jay?
And we're short one member. If you want to,
I want to come, huh?
yeah.
You never
And if
know.
you live here year-round, we'd be interested
yeah.
in talking to you. Are you year-round?
My wife would like to be year-round, I'm not.
No, we need year-round members. We need one member more.
I understand totally. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Jay, when you put that request in the Manir, could you put that 915 Benton tree on there also?
That was him? No, that was the
Yes.
other guy.
No, Benton was the
Yeah, that was the
one
other
that
guy.
was leaning towards the house.
Yeah, him.
Trim that,
Yeah.
okay, trim away from the house.
Idaho,
Yes, please.
At what?
915 Benton.
9:15.
Benton.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why send two,
Trim away from the houses, right.
why send two memos when you can send one?
And I think
We always been short.
that tree should be saved.
Okay. Hey, you have anything, sir? You're just here to be into air conditioning and out of the sun, right?
And be entertained.
And now, Jay, it's our new city engineer.
Oh, okay.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Paul, introduce
Why don't
yourself,
you-
everybody. Get on the camera.
You should know also that I've been invited to talk to the Environmental Commission on the fourth Tuesday, I think, of this month. Yeah, at the 22nd of this month. Have a seat. 22nd of this month, talk to the Environmental Commission about our role and about their role
good.
too.
What time's that, Jay?
The meeting is at 11:30 in the morning. If you want to join me for that, that'd be fine. That's on the
I'll heckle.
22nd?
I'll heckle you.
Pardon?
I'll heckle you.
Okay.
Are they looking
11:30
to
here.
cut down the
Oh, here.
vegetation on the,
I want to caution them, because Paul, yes, I remember reading in the paper. The city has looked at the marine forest, the trees and the growth seaward of the promenade.
Yes.
Okay. And they hired Jim Lomax to look at some of that stuff. Jim Lomax hates Japanese black pine with a passion. Every time he sees one, he wants to cut it down. And I'm saying they're survivors. They perform a function, and they provide a home for Japanese bark beetles or something like this. But, leave them alone. They're surviving trees, and
Talk about that at the Environmental Commission.
pardon?
Have that discussion at the Environmental Commission.
I am going to have
Go
that
visit-
discussion with the
go visit
Environmental
them.
Commission.
Where-
Because
where is
there's
the
no
meeting?
reason to take one.
where's
Right
the
here.
meeting held? Here?
Here, right
And
here.
it's at
Right at
11
this
a.m.
table.
At 11:30.
Oh, 11:30.
11:30 on the 22nd.
I've been with the city 1 month now.
Congratulations.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and when he came, his beard was dark.
no. So I've been trying to stop in all the commission
Okay.
meetings, just to,
Nice.
introduce myself, let you know I'm here, full-time, right upstairs. right upstairs.
Oh, welcome aboard. You see what we're up against sometimes,
Now-
trees, people buy the houses, they put a pool in, and then they discover that the trees that were there are dropping needles and dropping pine cones.
I'm evaluating, I've got, over at the Welcome Center, there's what I believe are 3 tree of heavens, invasive species,
Where?
over at the Welcome Center.
Oh, at the Playhouse.
No, at the Welcome Center, Transportation Center.
Okay,
By
If you
Oyster.
go in on the right-hand side, at the corner that, there's 3 tree of heavens that we're, Public Works, we're going to be evaluating.
where
possibly
we planted, Atlantic Electric owed us a bunch of trees, and we were going to have them plant along the new parking meter area between the restaurant and there, but he wasn't authorized to cut up asphalt.
Right.
So we got a bunch of trees in storage that we're going to put on Cape May Avenue, but we planted 6 trees, some to the north of the Welcome Center and some to the 3 trees to the
These are
south.
trees that are like
They've been there?
25, 30 feet tall.
Okay,
But they're going to need to come down because they're an invasive species.
yes.
So once we make a full evaluation.
So that's by the parking lot, right?
It's out, it's between the parking lot and the sign for the Welcome Center. There's 3 of them right over by Oyster Bay on the rest, right on the corner of the
It's
restaurant.
right along Oyster Bay, right against Oyster Bay.
Right against the building almost.
Right against Oyster Bay
There's,
building.
there's 3 of them.
I didn't know that was a tree of heaven.
Tree of
Really?
heaven. It's also, they're an attractor species for the
Spotted.
Longhorn.
the spotted lanternfly. So
Spotted
that's another reason
lanternfly,
why
yeah.
we want to evaluate them and get rid of them. Besides being an invasive
Well, whose
species.
property is that? That
Cities.
property belongs to the city
it's
or to
part of the city right away.
Or to the Oyster Bay?
city.
Does it? Okay. All right. Well,
Under the right-of-way of that railroad, or?
It's partly in the right-of-way. Yeah, well, the right-of-way, railroad's not actually on a right-of-way. It's actually owned property.
Okay.
So unlike a public right-of-way, like in the street, that's a right-of-way. All the railroad track is actually fee-owned by the railroad.
By the railroad.
And in this case, I believe,
railroad even still in existence, or no?
No.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they're still in existence. Yeah, Cape May Seashore Line. But it's ultimately, yeah, I believe the transportation center is.
There's no
We have operational control over the transportation center, but the railroad still has operational control of the rails.
yeah.
But there's no
But there's no
train.
train.
No train runs through
Not
there.
yet.
Oh, there's going to?
I don't.
Well, I
If you,
There
if you,
hasn't
if you talk to
been
the owner of the,
years.
if you talk to the operator of the Cape May Seashore Lines,
Yeah,
he
Cape May,
believes,
Tony
he
Mc-
believes that
Tony
the train
McRae.
is just right around the corner.
Which has been for years.
It wasn't all.
It's all overgrown.
That's his
all
line.
overgrown.
It's
It
covered.
wasn't also long ago when that twist bridge was working, that Tony McRae would run, at Christmas time, they would run a train up to Tuckahoe from Cape May, across the
Wow.
canal.
What year was that?
That was about 12 years ago, I think.
A little bit longer,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now that twist bridge isn't working so well anymore. Of course, it doesn't help that it gets hit every once in a while by a boat, but,
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
These trees you were mentioning, Tree of Heaven, if you're looking at the Oyster Bay restaurant.
to the
from
left.
From the Acme lot, let's say.
Yes.
You're right.
On the left.
It'd be on the left of the Oyster Bay, the right of the,
The sign.
right there on the corner. If you're looking at the Welcome Center sign,
Yeah.
right behind, there's 3 trees growing up right there.
I think
And
I
that's
looked at
how
trees.
tall is that, Paul?
Those trees,
Yeah.
they're at least 25.
Yeah.
They're at least 25 feet. That's what I'm saying. I haven't done a full evaluation, but we were over there looking at some other issues over there, and I'm looking up and I'm like, oh, these are tree of heaven, and I got to verify that, but
Pay attention,
my
'cause I always
recollection.
thought that was an attractive tree that they left there. I didn't know that was a tree of heaven. Oh, my goodness.
So they're
I
going to
have
come
to
down.
leave.
Okay.
I believe that's what, it's an invasive species.
Right.
Being an attractor for spotted lanternfly, we don't, the city doesn't want those.
Yeah, I can see that.
trees.
We don't,
I can see that.
we don't call them, well, invasive species, we don't call them a non-native tree anymore. Now, it's an invasive species, tree of heaven, I agree with that. But we say people that want to take trees down because it's a non-native species. There is, in our definition, no non-native species. If they thrive down here, they're as good as any native tree, and they deserve a right to go on, so.
But this is an invasive tree.
But instead of being an invasive, it's like I said, don't plant bamboo.
No.
Did you pick up on that, or somebody informed you about that?
Oh, I did. I picked up on it. Yeah, well, up from where, on my previous job up in Upper Township, we have an invasive species ordinance, and, it's been an issue at a couple of properties where we've had to, besides bamboo, tree of heaven's another issue tree. Yeah, civil engineer.
You're going to have to go soon.
Do you want to adjourn the meeting?
Yes, I will.
Also, a scout, also a longtime
Yeah.
scout leader, so when you're out doing
All right, Paul.
tree identification with the
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Turn them off. All right. Thank you for stopping.